Hey everybody, I'm Alby from Sperry Tree Care. So in celebration of Arbor Day, Sperry Tree Care, we have decided to introduce you to a few legacy trees in Eugene. It's probably the most notorious tree in the area, and it's the Owen Cherry tree. It is called a mazured cherry. The mazured cherry is a wild variety of cherry from Europe, and this one is supposedly the variety called Tartarian. So the exciting part of this tree is it's very, very old. It is estimated to be between 155 to 170 years old, which is really, really, really rare. You don't see that very often at all. It is really, really large because it's growing on a very good soil. The river is right there. It's very fertile, good drainage. The tree is obviously pampered. If the tree was in a natural setting without any crutches and cables, it's like a grandpa that's been just, held together, and it's pruned to reduce the load. It's just fantastic looking tree. People come and adore it. It's about 56, 57 feet tall, and it's about 85 feet wide. Usually a tree is taller than wider, not this one. When this tree blossoms, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's white everywhere. I hope you'll come and enjoy it, and come and say hi to Grandpa. So this tree is an English walnut. The tree is about 87 feet tall, about 100 feet wide, and it was planted, we say, about 1880s, so 140 years old, something like this. It was also a seedling. A lot of the English walnuts you see in the valley have been grafted on the black walnut as the root graft, and the scion being the English walnut, not this one. It has produced nuts in the past, but has lost its capability to produce fruit. A little detail that people thankfully paid attention to, they allowed a little gap into the wall to make room for the branch. So the branch is not resting on or rubbing on the building. Beautiful, classic, especially with this light gray bark, nicely furrowed. The English walnut at Ferry Street and 11th. Just come and say hi to it. Today we're looking at the Calkins Ponderosa Pine. Magnificent tree, planted in the late 1880s. This Ponderosa Pine is about 135 feet tall. It's really, really large. Ponderosa Pine in Eugene are usually called the Valley Pine. It's a subspecies of the Ponderosa Pine that grows really well into the wet climate of this area, in comparison with the Ponderosa pines that you would see east of the Cascade. The bark looks like a giraffe, scaly. On a nice sunny day in summer, if you get close to the tree, you might get fragrances of either vanilla or butterscotch. Come and look at this giant. You can't really miss it. It's really, really a good example of the species. It's just a magnificent tree. This tree is called the Cascade Hall Metasequoia, or dawn redwood. You're going to love the story of this tree because it's unbelievable. This species of tree was not known to us before 1941. Thomas Condon, the first geology professor of the University of Oregon in the 1860s, discovered some fossils in Eastern Oregon by John Day. And he found fossils of a tree that looked like the coastal redwood. And in 1941, a Japanese scientist looked at the fossils, and based on the shape of the seeds and the foliage, decided to put the tree into a new category, and he named it Metasequoia. Eventually, 2 years after that, in China, a forester called Chan Wang discovered the tree. And this tree that you see is about 70 years old now. It's about 75 feet tall, 80 feet tall almost and about 55 feet wide. This tree came from China originally. The seedling came from China. It's actually a conifer, it's a gymnosperm. It's not an evergreen, it's a deciduous tree. So you have to come and look at it when it pushes its needles. They're kind of tender and green, they're really beautiful and soft. Metasequoia glyptostroboides. Don't ask me to.
Say that 3 times fast.
Metasequoia that's it.
One more time.
Oh. Metasequoia glyptostroboides. Metasequoia glyptostroboides. Metasequoia glyptostroboides. Yes, I did it. This is an Oregon white oak that I nominated in 2004. Oregon white oaks are one of the signature trees in the valley. Quercus garryana, sometimes called Gary oak. It is a tree you see in the South Hills. There are still some remnants of what used to be the oak savanna. This tree is pretty tall. That's what is amazing about this tree. It's floating with 90 feet and about 48 inches in diameter. And its silhouette is unique for the species. Most of the time you see an Oregon white oak in the field, in the open, it looks like a big piece of broccoli. It's not that very big, but it's very gnarly. This one is very elongated, very tall, very proud looking tree, magnificent. Love this tree.